Yeah, it is the third week, and it feels like it in my legs. I'm sure the players are feeling it too. But boy, today was a good one. So you caught me on a good day. We had a really challenging practice today, and the kids responded to it after a scrimmage. They did have some time to rest Saturday night, a little bit Sunday, so that was good. But they don't always come back like that. Sometimes they come back more sluggish if you give them time off. Offensively, right now, we're pretty much like you normally are. We're inconsistent. We got some guys that are really playing well. Like in the scrimmage, Keaton Mitchell was unbelievable. Rajee Harris, he was a great player. Holton Ahlers had the best scrimmage probably of his life, I thought. He had some drop balls, so statistically it may not have looked that way, but he was the best he had ever been. Isaiah Winstead had some really good plays. He did drop some balls, you know what I'm saying? But he showed he's a go-to guy. Jalen Johnson showed he's a big-time player. He's a big-time player. He made some unbelievable plays. He blocked, which if you get a receiver to block like that is a good receiver, then you got something special there. Ryan Jones played probably his best scrimmage that he'd ever played. Bailey Malkovic definitely played the best he's ever played in the scrimmage. Noah Henderson did not play very much. A little bit. He had a little bit of a sore back, and it's camp, so we're being very protective of him. So we had a lot of guys that just did outstanding. Unfortunately, we had a lot of guys made a lot of mistakes in there too, and that's what happens offensively. It just takes a little bit of time to get it going. Our first unit, I feel good about. The seconds, thirds, and we even got fours now, which is awesome. It got a little ugly, when some of that group's in there. Not to just slam them; their mothers will be mad, I guess, but they're not ready to play. Some of them are going to have to get ready to play, though. We got a lot of injuries at receiver. That would be probably the second group: Taji, Maceo, Tyler Savage, Kerry King. It's hard to have that many out and be very good. So it's just inconsistent. You just have to keep pushing ahead. Defensively, we're pretty good, I think. I think Coach would think that too. They do a lot of stuff, so it challenges those guys. It challenged Mason. Mason had some really good plays, but mentally they got him. They fooled him a couple of times like that. I got a really good battle going on for the third quarterback right now. Alex Flynn has come back, recommitted, and doing a great job. Had a really good practice today as well. So it's good. It's good when you got competition. Okay? Is that a long enough answer? Good. All right. Thank you.
What do you think Holton could most improve on?
Well, Holton's deal is just the same thing. I probably sound like a broken record. Is he has talent around him now, and he doesn't have to go and just win the game by himself. Because what happens by trying to do that, he overdoes things sometimes, and that's when we get burned. We make some mistakes. Now sometimes he pulls that off. Today he pulled one off that nobody knows except me and him. He wasn't supposed to do that, and it worked. Which we do kind of have a saying: if you're going to screw up, you better damn screw up by making the play, and then we'll fix it after that. But that's the thing. Just take what they give you. We're going to give you enough plays to make good plays. I'm going to put you in that situation enough if you'll just let it come to you. It's just like Saturday, he did a good job of this. We started off on our 18-yard line. We're backed up. Okay, now the percentages of driving the ball and scoring in college football when you're driving it, okay, what is that, 82 yards, is not very high. Okay, the percentage of something's going to get you in there, and it's not very high. The second series, we were on the 5-yard line. It's hardly ever does people drive it 95 yards and score. He did a good job of, we didn't play really good around him. Had a drop, had another drop, guy got beat, kind of hung in there. The third possession, he took us 75 yards for a touchdown and was cut. Let it come to you. Sometimes you just have to set some things up. The next drive, he drove us all the way down the field. We got to a 4th and 2. Coach wanted to go for it, and I probably called a bad play, so that was on me. But he did that's why I say he had the best scrimmage, because he didn't go out there when we didn't move it and just try to make up something and go win the game, which usually causes an interception or a sack or something like that. So that's still what he's working on. He's still working on that and let the game come to him a little bit, because he's really improved technique-wise, accuracy-wise. He is so sharp. He works so hard. He studies so hard. There's a lot of things he can do for us.
Running back wise, Coach Houston said Marlins kind of stood out a little bit as a freshman. What have you seen in that battle for the third?
Well, I think, and Marlon had a good day today, so that was a good day to have him talking about it too. Uh, he probably has moved into that third spot, I think, of after today's practice. Camaro Edmonds, though, has shown some things. Camaro got sick. We had the stomach virus or whatever it was, and a couple of kids were really sick. He happened to be one of those, so he missed about 4 practices. So I didn't even think he'd get in there Saturday. I didn't think he'd have the energy to go after being out. And he got in there and got about 3 or 4 carries. He pounded some guys that tried to tackle him, caught a ball. So we see the talent. He's just so far behind really now knowing what we're doing. But Marlon's he's a big physical back that's got a little bit of a feel for what the blocking scheme is and knows how. And that's what Raji and Keaton do so well. I always swear Keaton ain't running fast. I always go like, but you ain't even running fast. But he is just so like with the tempo of the blocking scheme. He knows how to set those blockers up. And Marlon appears to be that type of guy, but a big guy like Raji.
Speaking of blocking, how are Shank and the O-line holding up?
Well, they're as grumpy as they can be. If you dealt with Shank, you'd think I should make more money dealing with Shank. No, the O-line is doing pretty well holding up. Noah we're being very, very cautious with. I'd like to think we're being smart in that we're saying it's a long season. You know, you're a veteran. You need work, but we don't need to just blow you out in preseason camp because we want to go out there and compete. It gets competitive. It gets competitive with the players, and the offense kids get mad at us sometimes like, coach, whatever. And I'm like, but that's not who we play. We're not going to just go out there and put Keaton and Raji in there all the time and just throw it to the same guys all the time. We got to work the other stuff. So be careful with him. But that's giving Parker, a chance to really get some work, and he's really impressed us right there. Bailey Malkovic's another one. He played 20 plays. The ones went 40 plays the other day. He got 20 of them because we thought there's no reason to go out there and play him all 40 plays. Again, the season's not all in the first 2 weeks. And it was the best scrimmage he's ever had, probably the best he's played. Now he's bigger than a house now again, so he's back to the big Bailey. So they've all held up. Foot was out one day. Avery Jones, man, is he a stud? Rashad Struthers, they ain't missed none. They ain't missed a rep. So we're holding up in there. We just got to get a couple of more guys in the younger group knowing what to do because you got to have them all. I mean, you never have enough. Well, Justin Redd is the other part of that. That's why we could play Bailey Malkovic 20 plays is because what we did with Justin Redd was we started him at guard, and then we moved him out to tackle, and he's done outstanding. Now, he would have graded extremely well in the scrimmage. He had 3 mental errors where it just, he blew an assignment there because he's been here 2 weeks. He didn't have spring ball or anything like that. But he's going to really help us. So Parker, and we actually have 4 tackles is what I'd say. We only have like 4 starting tackles right now, which is really good. Now we need to get somebody to step it up. Ben Johnson has shown maybe he could. We got to figure out is he a center or does he need to be the guard? Who's the next backup right there. But starting to feel good out the edges. Now we got to get a little better on the inside with depth-wise.
Coach has really sung the praises of Isaiah Winstead, a transfer came in here and has made an impact, it seems.
Yeah. Well, he's got big-time talent, you know what I'm saying? And he broke a finger out there one day. And, the only thing with that, he puts a lot of pressure on himself, and we're just trying to relax him a little bit. These guys that have 1 year, man, they're on a different timetable. They're in a hurry. And like I say, he jammed his finger, and it went out of place. And if anybody's ever done that, it's as painful as anything you can do when it's out. You think, you've lost your whole hand. And he was in a panic emotionally because he thought, I'm done. I'm done for the season. I just broke my finger and my hand. And, piano players and receivers, you got to have those digits, and that stuff. So, they just put it back in place, and you're like, oh, wow, that feels a lot better. But it's just, hey, calm down like that. But he Saturday, like I say, he dropped 2 or 3 balls. But you know what? Probably anybody else wouldn't have got to those balls. You know what I'm saying? Holton had so much confidence in him, he knew he could throw it to him. But he came back, and he made some plays. He had a really good day today, too. So we're excited about him.
You say confidence. How has the chemistry been with Holton working in with these new faces all over the place?
Well, they're working hard together. They have a great relationship. All that's going well. Timing, you can see that's not there. There are just so many little things that, you know, like with Snead, and then when you had Blake and you had some guys that were returning, that Holton is able to do and just check off and make individual, you know, changes. And they don't know all that stuff yet. You know what I'm saying? They're still in that process. So it's a little slower right now, being able to maybe take advantage of a blitz that Holton can see, and he's ready to change the play, and then they didn't see the signal, you know, whatever like that. So that's the part we got to work on. Depth of routes, you know, the timing of that is a little bit off, and that causes some of those drops because all of a sudden the ball's there a little before they're actually expecting it, or they've run the route a little too short, you know, and that's thrown the thing off. So now the timing's off. So that's what camp is about. And this week, that's been some of the things we've gone over. The offensive meeting last night, when I met with the entire offense, we talked about the polish, now getting the consistency, getting that chemistry on this group here this week. That's what we got to do. And so hopefully by Saturday, some of that will look better.
With C.J. Johnson, it seems like he's come back obviously from the suspension pretty focused. Have you noticed that as well?
Yeah, I probably purposely didn't say C.J. in that, you know, you got your thing there. C.J. had a really good scrimmage. C.J.'s effort has been the best it's ever been. The focus has been the best. He's been the best he's been, no doubt, since I've been here, and that which is since he's been here. And so we're leaning. He's trending in the right direction right now. We're just gonna not oversell that right now. But he had a couple big time plays. And you know what? He's playing really unselfish. He's become a good blocker, which he should have been. You know what I'm saying? I try to tell those guys that the scouts would come in, and the thing they loved about, I know it's hard not for me, not always want to talk about Justin Hardy, go to my happy place, but they'd say he leads the nation in catches or whatever, and he's the best blocker I've ever seen. So he was going to get drafted. You know what I'm saying? Now, he wasn't a 6'2", 4'4" guy, but everybody wanted him. I mean, that Dwayne Harris, those guys. Now, CJ's doing that. Jalen Johnson does that. He came from Georgia. They probably had to block there a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They probably made him so he comes from being used to doing that.